Welcome to Zen in a Moment, episode 45 with Zen Crier DeBrook. Today, I have been thinking about why we have so many different issues going on between our people in our nation. The citizens are fighting. You have all these different, literally black or white viewpoints. When I listen, I hear that both sides seem to be saying the same kinds of things, that we're going to lose our democracy, we're going to lose our freedom. They have different issues about what freedoms we're losing with each of the particular sides. And what I've found over the course of my lifetime is that there really isn't a side. As much as we'd like to think that there is, we can make them up in our heads. And if we are making up a quote unquote, air quote, side that we're on, often it doesn't open us. Because our true divinity that's inside of our bodies is fluid and flexible. There is no one way because every situation has all these various differences. When you go out into nature, there are so many different little intricate details, and it changes things dramatically. So an example is, I'm up here in the Idaho area, and there is a particular kind of fly, stink beetle, or stink fly is what it's called, I think. And there's been a ton of them this year, which they don't come every year. But on the years that these stink bugs come out and fly around, and there's a lot of them, we have a really heavy winter and snow. I know in some places it's based on how many pine cones grow, right? It's really interesting. Everywhere you look in nature, for instance, even fruit trees, it's based on the exact situation as to how much fruit you're going to get. In most places, there has to be a certain amount of freeze days, or you don't get a great amount of fruit. So as we're moving through our lives, I feel as if we're being asked to put ourselves in boxes. And it's like, well, if you believe this, then you believe all these other things too. And this is who you are. And if you believe this other thing, then you must be all these other things, right? And that's who you are. And it's not true. The way I like to look at it in the world that I live in and with people that I'm meeting, because I really hold a lack of judgment in relationship to other people's opinions and views. Because the way I see us is, what we put in our mind is what makes up our mind. Now that sounds obvious probably, but everybody has this very similar vessel here. When we're born, for the most part, we come in with a very loving, curious, open heart, and quickly, depending on if the way that the baby is treated, they will either continue that open, curious, excited, loving heart, or they'll begin to start to protect it. And in the beginning, we are all like the same cup that has not been filled yet. And as we move through our lives, that cup gets filled. And we don't know what everybody's cup is filled with. So we don't know who they truly are. I have been astonished over and over and over again by the brilliance of the people that I've met and the students of the Smart Soul Academy. I have been amazed. I've met people who were, neuroscientists, or I actually literally met a rocket scientist. I was sitting in a live class I was teaching actually, and I said, "It's not rocket science." And the guy laughed, and he goes, and I said, "What?" And he goes, "I'm a rocket scientist." And so, we don't know who we're talking to. He did not look like a rocket scientist, to be perfectly honest. And that happens a lot. And we make these unexamined assumptions based on how people look, how they speak, what kind of vocabulary they use, their accent, clothing that they wear, cars they drive, educations that they've been to, and we don't know. We don't really know what's in there. We are just simple cups that have been filled with different ingredients. And those ingredients are really important because that individual experience contributes to the whole. That's part of the reason why there's this brilliance that I've met in people, because they have experiences I'm not aware of, and something will come up and they'll say, well, what's happened to me is, and how it's solved or didn't get solved, or how whatever happened to them. And it lends such a unique, important discovery in the that leads to the solution of whatever we're dealing with. So I have a real problem with anyone having one particular view and then getting categorized as put in a box. Their cup is filled with these particular things, right? And so how do you fix that? What do you do about that? Let's start with your own cup and what it's filled with. And what I mean by that is the thoughts in your head, the experiences you've had, the teaching, the books you've read, the people you've known, those are the things that have filled your cup. And so, does it open you? When you are thinking the thoughts that you have, the experiences that you've had, the knowledge that you've gained, right? The media that you've consumed, when you're thinking of those things, do they open you? Because if they open you, that means that you feel a light expansion or a neutral sensation that just feels clean and clear. If the thoughts that are running around in your head, the things you filled your cup with, open you, then you're in alignment. That the things that you have filled your cup with are beautiful and unique, and they need to be shared because you're open. If they don't open you, if you feel stress and worry and fear and anxiety and overwhelm and irritation and frustration and doubt, if you're feeling judgment, right? These are things that are not opening. And that means that what you filling your cup with is not true for you, or is not going to happen to you or to the people around you. There is a lot of people out there fighting for their closings, which means what they're thinking is not true or not going to happen. Closing begets closing. When you come up to somebody in a closed state, and we're seeing it when we try to, that's why we don't talk anymore about the things that matter to us in relationship to our government and our politics and our healthcare and the wars in overseas. And I mean, we can go on and on and on about all the things that are like little landmines that we're not allowed to talk to each other about anymore, because then all of a sudden we get labeled. One belief leads to an assumption of all beliefs. Not true. There's a diversity. And I've talked to many people who believe one thing and I'm shocked, and then everything else we're in alignment with. And I'm like, well, I didn't even know you would feel that way. And they explain it to me, and I'm like, I'm so happy, and I can tell they're open. I'm like, I'm really happy that you're clear on what's right for you. We need people who are clear on what's right for them. And then from there, we can have amazing conversations. So what is your cup filled with? Is it filled with all those things I listed? Fear, anxiety, worry, frustration, irritation, super big judgment and anger? Because then you might want to check the information that you've filled your cup with. And if somebody else comes up to you and you're open or getting open by using the principles and tools of your Smart Soul Academy, if you're using the practices that you can thus examine the information that's in your cup and find what's opening to you, and somebody comes up and they're closed, they're simply filled with different information in their cup. Don't look at it as the enemy. Don't look at it as other. Take a moment and realize that you don't know what's in their cup. And get curious. We hear all the time teachers saying, get curious. Why? It's like, I don't want to be curious. It takes too much work. No, interested, curious, like, how did you come to that conclusion? You may be unbelievably amazed at the story they have to tell. There's so many brilliant stories inside of each of us, truly. So examine your cup and know that everybody else has done their best to fill their cup as best they can. And it's all of our jobs to make sure that what we filled our cup with is opening. I love you guys, and I'm sending you love and blessings. Go forth and have an incredible day. Are you feeling stuck? Are you in your own personal Groundhog Day? I know what that feels like. And I want to let you know, if you're enjoying the Zen in a Moment mini pods, I have something even more profound and powerful for you. I have a community that I've started, Fear Free Human Collective, and there is a free level. It costs nothing to join. In that free level, you'll get a free trial of our 14-day quick start program called the Fear Free Mind Experience. You get the first 4 days of that. And you also get access to our membership area where we have a general discussion, where you can meet other people who are using their internal guidance system. And I have a monthly masterclass that I do where we take on a topic every single month where you examine your closings and I share with you how to get rid of closing thinking. For instance, I know one month that we did is the self-sabotage, all the thinking we have that's negative about ourselves and who we are and what we do and what we're accomplishing and how far along we are in life. And we get together and we will explore that and release all those closings and find openings. I want to have you come and join this program. It's free for you to join. If you want to do more, you can. It's super affordable. But at least come join the free and be around people who are like-minded like you and who are learning to use their internal guidance system. I want to enjoy this with you and have you be a part of this, because if you're listening to this mini pod, you're special and you have something to contribute to the world. And I want to know more about you and what you're here to do. So go to BeFearFreeNow.com and check out what we have to offer. Check out the people in the community. You'll get to see our members in our membership directory, and you're going to you'll find that the people who are attracted to the internal guidance system work are pretty awesome. They're very special. I hope to see you there. I'm sending you love and blessings. Go forth and have an amazing day.